You are joining us for lesson 38, and today we are revisiting verb form 6 with a particular focus on al-asma. Let's get started. So let's make a start by reminding ourselves of the previous example. So we used تلاعب, يتلاعب, تلاعب, تلوعب, يتلاعب, and then the asma متلاعب, متلاعب, تلاعب. And in this lesson, the focus is on the asma. So we're going to be expanding on the asma. But before we do that, let's have a look at the dictionary definition for this particular verb form, for this particular root. So as mentioned before, taking slightly different approach, using the Hanswehr, we are looking at the encompassing definition rather than the definition for each word. And it's important to note here that we've actually looked at this root previously. So make a note of the definition, make the note of the slight difference in definition by comparison to the previous time we looked at the this particular root. And the lesson is on the right hand side corner. So for verb form 6, we have to play, to make fun, to mock, to pull someone's leg, to play a trick, to act fraudulently. So you'll notice that that idea of playing is still there, but verb form 6 takes on a slightly more sinister meaning. Also, it becomes more mocking or playing a trick or acting fraudulently, rather than simply playing and having fun, as we've seen in the previous verb form. And do go back and visit that lesson. Now let's move on. Let's make a start with the ism fa'il, and the word that we are expanding on is متلاعب. So متلاعب, متلاعبا, متلاعب, متلاعبان, متلاعبين, متلاعبين, متلاعبون, متلاعبين, متلاعبين, متلاعبة, 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 متلاعبتان, متلاعبتين, متلاعبتين, متلاعبات, متلاعبات, متلاعبات. And as we've mentioned in previous lessons, each one of these words, each one of these isms is expanded on from متلاعب based on these 4 characteristics. We are expanding on the ism مفعول. So we have متلاعب, متلاعبا, متلاعب, متلاعبان, متلاعبين, متلاعبين, متلاعبون, متلاعبين, متلاعبين, متلاعبة, 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 متلاعبتان, متلاعبتين, متلاعبتين, متلاعبات, متلاعبات, متلاعبات. And again, this expansion goes back to the 4 characteristics of the ism. Now let's move on and look at the masdar. As we've previously seen, the masdar operates slightly differently in that to pluralize we use the feminine. So it's a slightly reduced number of words that we have available to us. So we have تلاعب, تلاعبا, تلاعب, تلاعبان, تلاعبين, تلاعبين, تلاعبات, تلاعبات, تلاعبات. And again, to understand the characteristics, we've got the key there for you. Now let's move on to our second example. So for this particular verb form, we also looked at تفاهم. So we have تفاهم, يتفاهم, تفاهم, تفوهم, يتفاهم. These are our verbs. And then our isms, متفاهم, متفاهم, تفاهم. And again, the focus on this lesson is the asma. We're expanding on the asma, but just before we do that, let's again visit the Hansware Dictionary. So for this particular root, for this particular verb form, we have to understand one another, to communicate with each other, to reach an understanding, to come to an agreement, come to terms, to be comprehended, to be understood. That's the encompassing meaning for this particular verb form with this particular root. Now, let's expand. So again, starting off with the ism fa'il, we have mutafahimun, mutafahimen, mutafahimin, mutafahimani, mutafahimaini, mutafahimaini, mutafahimuna, mutafahimina, mutafahimina, mutafahimatun, mutafahimatal, mutafahimatin, mutafahimatani, mutafahimataini, mutafahimataini, متفاهمات متفاهمات متفاهمات. And again, all we've done here is provide the other words in respect to the four characteristics of the ism. Now let's expand on the ism maf'ul. So our ism maf'ul here, متفاهم متفاهما متفاهم متفاهمان متفاهمين متفاهمين متفاهمون متفاهمين متفاهمين متفاهمة 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 متفاهمتان متفاهمتين متفاهمتين متفاهمات متفاهمات متفاهمات. And again, it's the variations based on characteristics. Now let's look at the masdar. And again, for the masdar to pluralize, we're using the feminine plural. So we have tafahumun, tafahuman, tafahumin, تفاهمان تفاهمين تفاهمين تفاهمات تفاهمات تفاهمات. And again, to understand what we're looking at, there's your key. We have come to the end of the lesson. So as always, thank you for joining us. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. See you in the next one, inshallah.